Alrighty, folks, we finished the year 3-0 in our final three college football tier package plays on my premium page last season. And just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my free pick video here today for week 0 of the 25-26 season in college football. My name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016. And once again, folks, we finished last season 3-0 in our final three plays in my college football tier membership. We also went 5-1 in our last 6 plays in that same package. And the good news is I've got 3 more college football tier membership plays going off here this Saturday for week 0. Those plays are already posted and ready for access. And if you sign up for that membership, you're going to get access to that package every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. Going to be included with your membership. Of course, if you want to access all of my premium selections, I'll tell you how to do that at the end of the video. I currently have over 2,700 members who are signed up and active on my premium page as of right now. And with that, we're going to jump right into some free content. Iowa State taking on Kansas State. That'll be a 12 o'clock Eastern kickoff in Dublin, Ireland. Kansas State's -3, totals 50. And both, teams with some pretty good stuff on defense. Definitely good on the defensive end of the ball last year. K-State, they had a top 30 rushing defense, allowed only 118 yards a game on the ground. The Wildcats also did a nice job on the pass rush. K-State, they were in the top 30 in the nation in sacks per game up front. And they're taking on an Iowa State team who is pretty tough to throw the football against themselves. They allowed just 165 yards a game through the air. They were amongst the top secondaries in the nation. Of course, as a defensive unit, the Cyclones were also in the top 25 in takeaways. It was a very opportunistic defense. Of course, total-wise, Iowa State saw unders last season against Cincinnati, Texas Tech, and this very Kansas State team. Meanwhile, the Wildcats, they finished the year with unders in 3 out of their final 5 ball games. I like the under 50. All right, next play. Not listed on our big screen, but it is going to be Idaho State taking on UNLV. That'll be a 4 o'clock Eastern kickoff at Allegiant Stadium. The Rebels are -24. Total is 64. UNLV won their last 3 straight meetings against Idaho State, and a nice little tune-up game here for them. Of course, on the offensive end, the Rebels averaged over 60 points a game in those 3 victories against Idaho State, and we could see more of the same in this one. This was a Rebel program who was definitely committed to running the football last year. They actually rushed for over 245 yards a game on the ground. They were a top 10 point-scoring team in the country. Believe it or not, the Rebels were actually gaining over 6.3 yards per play from scrimmage on the offensive side of the football. And it was definitely a Rebel team who would like to get on you early. UNLV was a top 10 point-scoring team in the first quarter last year, and they're facing an Idaho State program who actually gave up an ungodly amount of points last season. They were terrible, really, on both sides of the football, but defensively, just pretty anemic there. Now, total-wise, the Rebels saw overs against the likes of San Diego State, Hawaii, and Utah State. I just think that UNLV could very likely put this one over the total themselves. I like UNLV -24 over 64. Fresno State, Kansas, 6:30 East. Kansas is -12, totals 51. Now, Jayhawks started to turn things on a bit down the home stretch last season. winners of 4 out of their final 6 games, victories over the likes of Iowa State, BYU, and Colorado. Pretty good football teams there. And they also saw their final 3 contests of the 2024 season all stay under the total. Now, they're facing a Fresno squad who lost 4 out of their last 5 games themselves, averaged only 21 points a game during that time frame. And to be truthful, that's really not overly shocking. The Bulldogs actually ran for under 100 yards a game on average last season. They had a really poor running attack, and no real shock here. Fresno had a tough time producing points in the second half last year. The Bulldogs were actually a bottom 5 point scoring team in the fourth quarter. Now, total-wise, Fresno State saw unders in 5 out of their last 8. I like Kansas minus 12, under 51. Sam Houston, Western Kentucky, 7 o'clock East. WKU is minus 10.5, total 60 and a hook. And listen, the Hilltoppers, they're laying double digits, but they had all kinds of problems slowing down the run in 2024. They allowed nearly 210 yards a game on the ground, got crushed in defensive time of possession. Of course, as a team, the Hilltoppers dropped 3 out of their last 4 contests in 2024. Losses against the likes of James Madison, Liberty, and Louisiana Tech. And once again, for a team laying double digits in their opener against a fairly comparable team, the Hilltoppers failed to cover the point spread in 5 out of their last 6. So it's a big number. It wasn't a great covering team last year, especially down the home stretch. Could be problems for Hilltopper bettors. And listen, they're facing a Sam Houston squad who did end up winning a bunch of games last season, winners of 5 out of their last 6 down the home stretch. And during that 6-game stretch I just mentioned, the Bearcats were tough to move the ball against. They allowed just 15 points a game during that span, and that's not overly surprising. You know, Sam Houston was in the top 15 and fewest yards per play from scrimmage. Actually held opposing quarterbacks to only 177 yards a game passing. Now, 6 out of Sam Houston's last 7 ball games did stay under the total. Western Kentucky contest went 5-2 to the under in their last 7 themselves. I like Sam Houston plus 10.5, under 61. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. Stanford, Hawaii, 7:30 Eastern start. Hawaii's the 3-point favorite, totals 52. Now, Hawaii they averaged just 22 points a game in the 24 season, had all kinds of issues running the football. The Rainbow Warriors rushed for just 97 yards a game, outright losses in 5 out of their last 8. And even though Stanford on the other side is definitely coming off a down year themselves, they did cover the point spread in 3 out of their last 5. They actually got the outright victory over the likes of Louisville and Syracuse last year. Of course, defensively, the Cardinal, they were a fairly disciplined bunch. They were in the top 20 in fewest penalty yards on D. Pretty decent against the run at times as well. I like Stanford, plus 3, getting the job done against Hawaii. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. I like the under 50 in that Iowa State-Kansas State matchup. UNLV minus 24 over 64. We're 3-0 in our last 3 college football tier membership plays. 5-1 in our last 6 in that same package. Kansas minus 12, under 51. Sam Houston plus 10.5, under 61. And give me Stanford plus 3, getting the job done against Hawaii. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. And if you do end up getting a membership here today on my premium site, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. Going to be included with your membership. That's why I always tell folks that Gold Club package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. Gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. But most importantly, folks, gotta thank you for joining me right here on the free video. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, folks, happy Tuesday to you. Happy week 0 to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page.